Hi there, I'm Jason with 8Wire, and this is an introduction to Conductor and also a demonstration of what Conductor does. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create two data stores in Excel and SQL Server. I'm going to move data from Excel into it. I'm going to break the source data, which is where Conductor's magic occurs, and then I'm going to show that the clean data moves through correctly. So to go into the homepage for Conductor, so when you sign into the site, this is what you would see. Very simple, clean design. So I'm going to go into data stores, and here we have some data stores that we've set up before. They're things like Azure and SQL. I'm going to create a new one for my Excel folder. My bad typing. And I'm going to choose a type, which is an Excel files. And then I'm going to put in a location for where my files are located. So I have them sitting on a folder on my desktop. And finally, I'm going to select an agent. So an agent is an application that allows our site to move data into and out of servers and desktops and that sort of thing. So that's my first one. So that's my source for my spreadsheets. Now I need a place to move them to, so I'm going to create a new data store for SQL Server. So here again, same thing, I give it a name. And when I'm finished typing that out, I select a type, and we can use the SQL native client. And finally, an agent again. So I select the agent again running on my machine. My machine name is Semiconductor, and the database I'm pushing this into is called Scrap. And I'm finished. And that's all I have to do. So I don't have to do anything with drivers or permissions or anything else. It's all set up. Now I need to create a process. So click on Add a New. So I want to go from Excel to SQL Server, and then select Next. So now the agent is looking through my folder, and it's found my spreadsheet that I want to import. I select Next. Now here I can choose what sort of settings I want to have. If I want to overwrite data already in the database, or I want to append it. Since we're matching things automatically, what the matching threshold is. So now it's building that process for me. So what it's doing is it's uploading a copy of the file, and then it's comparing it to the database, and then matching up the files and folders as best as it can. Or in this case, matching to a table. So there's my process. So what I do is I've got this file, the XLS file, and it's assumed that it's going into a table with the same name, so I want to change that. So I just go into my 2 and change this to Droid Landing Table. So there's my table there. It has data in it at the moment, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to truncate that table. There. So nothing is in that table. And slight spelling error. Now I can look at the schema mapping. So in here, I can choose to map tables and columns across each other. So say I want to map sale date to a code value. It tells me that that's not a good match. But I can also cross map things there very easily. And finally, what I want to do is I'm going to break this file. So I go and open up my spreadsheet. And this is the spreadsheet I'm importing into the database. So I'm going to misname a column. I'm going to chop the E off here. Then also I'm going to add a column as well. And give it a name. And so this is the sort of thing that could happen. And if this happened, any system would crash. It wouldn't actually, the database would not load a file that differed in that sort of way. So now I've run it. And it's thrown up a thing saying as warnings. So it's found the errors and dealt with them. Because then if I go and refresh this table, as you can see, all of my data has come across successfully. So sale date has been mapped despite being misnamed, and the name of and that extra field as well hasn't come through because we're not expecting it. So So in summary, what we are trying to show here is that 8Wire allows businesses to move data easily. It's very fast and very simple to do and doesn't require technical skills, unlike most other applications. And also we're the only one that can fix downstream problems. So if data changes, we will actually stop the outage and fix the data before allowing the system to crash. So what you can see here is I imported a spreadsheet into a database within a few minutes. It took me no time at all to set up the feeds. And then when I ran it, by changing the column name and adding some extra columns, we were still able to map the correct columns together and run the load successfully. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me with jason@8wire.com.